is always going to happen.
And I got fired as I was working on the Donnie Simpson show, and now I'm back on 102.3 working with the Donnie Simpson show.
Sometimes in our journey of pivoting and our journey of figuring things out, we always feel like we have to have the structure for things to work.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the base is like, what are you trying to do?
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Pivotal Moments with Liletta. I am super excited about today's episode. Now, I know I always say I'm excited, but I am especially excited about my guest today. A little bit about my guest. First of all, she's amazing. She's fabulous. She is just doing so many things, has done so many things, and she happens to be a very dear friend of mine. So I am just really excited about having her on the show today. So without any more delay, let me introduce Alisa, whatever.
All of the above.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so proud that you had this. This is actually your second show that I've been on, by the way.
That's very true. That's very true. Well, now it's complete now that you have been on this show.
Thank you.
So I did a very quick intro, but why don't you tell a little bit about who you are, your background, and just some of the things that you have been involved in?
Okay, so my name is Alisa Jones. That's the government, but most people call me La or Lala. I have done a lot. Most recently, I just finished my sophomore project, which is a poetry book. Thank you very much, called Banter and Bourbon. So I'm a writer, spoken word artist. I love poetry. I am also a makeup artist for television and film. And just quite a few. So we know, Liletta, we just do a lot of things, but basically just, I like leaving people better than when they came. So I do styling, I do personal shopping. I have a 4-week course called Cute, Curvy, and Confident, where I help women to really learn how to adjust their wardrobes, find their right size, get over certain image and body issues, and just kind of feel their best over 4 weeks. So just anything, whether it's personal body, image, house, styling, wardrobe, love yourself, woo. I like all of that stuff. That's me.
Yes. I love it. And I can say, and I'm sure many of your friends will say the same thing, that add to that, just an amazing supportive friend. And what you believe in doing for women spills over into what you do for your friends. So super excited. So let's get into today's conversation. So as we said, you wear many, many hats. You have, as long as I've known you, you've just always been just doing so much. So when we talk about pivotal moments, I'm sure there's probably hundreds of pivotal moments that just immediately come to your mind.
Yeah.
But if you had to talk about one for today's show, tell us about a pivotal moment that you've had to make.
I think I'll say one of the pivotal moments is probably after being laid off for about a year and having one of those good paying jobs that did, like a good amount of money every year, and then you go from making 6 figures to 0 figures. I would say that is a pivot that you have to figure out how to make, so you can't really identify with your 9 to 5 or the money you make, or the things that you do to help your friends and your family that you've come to not just be known for, but you felt good about doing that you can no longer do. So still trying to find your place after that.
Yeah, wow, that is a tough one. And when we talk about these pivotal moments and these pivots, one of the things that is interesting is how these moments that we have to pivot usually show us what's important, because obviously a pivotal moment means that moment is something that was of super importance that we had to make the shifts around.
Correct.
So in you having to make the pivot, what would you say that you discovered was something that was an unchangeable, important thing to you in your life?
That when you tap into a true talent, it's something that you can't be fired from, or you can't be laid off from. So people have that expression, what is it? Find what you love to do and you never work a day in your life. That's actually not true. Because I do what I love, but that's some work. It still works. I don't quite subscribe to that theory, but I do believe that if you do find what your talents are, then you can find ways to not only enjoy them, you know, in a different kind of way, but also sometimes monetize them so that you don't have to necessarily worry about, not that everybody can just leave their 9 to 5. That's not what I'm saying, but that there are certain things that each person has, certain abilities, certain talents, certain gifts that each person has that's unique. And if given the right direction and the right time to figure it out at times, which some of us just don't have, but if given that opportunity, there are ways to make a living around it.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Now, switching gears just a little bit. So, what I found in just doing this whole series and creating my workshop around pivotal moments is that adjusting is something that we use that word a lot too, but adjusting has a slightly different feel to the definition, where adjusting is really about adapting to something, where pivot is really, again, making that shift to something that's of importance. So when we talk about having to make an adjustment, you know, those aren't always as fun and as, you know, exciting as our pivots. But can you tell us about a time where maybe you had to adjust rather than pivot?
uh,
I get that reaction
yeah,
a lot.
I'm. Yes. So adjustments, the word itself, like you said, is not necessarily fun. I'll say one of my biggest adjustments, and it's something totally unrelated to what I just spoke about, so it's completely different, right?
Okay.
Is when I was doing a 3-month trip in Brazil. I think I told you about this before. I think I told you about this before. I don't remember. But a 3-month trip in Brazil, and basically the second day I was there, me and the person I was traveling with, we were held up at gunpoint.
Wow.
And so that's an adjustment because my plans at that point were adjusted. The person I was traveling with decided to go back to the States, and I was promised to be somewhere for the next 3 months in Brazil. So I could not just, well, I could have, but I chose not to go back to the States, but to adjust the circumstances and just alter my plans to be able to still remain in Brazil. So that was an adjustment, and it was very difficult and very hard to travel around a foreign country by yourself. You're not 100% fluent in the language, and you just lost your credit card and your phone. Yeah, it was an adjustment, but it was one that was well worth it because once I finally got to my location safely, the adjusted location safely, you know, I was able to spend the rest of the time that I was to be there, and really achieve the purpose of me going. So that was a hard adjustment because I could have just said, I'm going to go home, taking my ball and I'm going home.
Right.
What I wanted to do. I really wanted to do that. You can't go home after they give you a going away party. So it's just not right. It's just not right. You got to return the gifts and everything.
Right.
Well, I can't do that. I didn't tell everybody I'm going to Brazil for 3 months. But yeah, so it was an adjustment, but it was worth it. But it was probably one of the hardest adjustments I've ever had to make in my life.
Yeah. I'm sure. I can't even imagine. And it's good you can laugh about it now, right?
In a few years.
Yeah, exactly.
In a few years. It took a little while.
Exactly. Well, as we kind of come to the end of this conversation, and I know you are, as they say, booked and busy, so I am not going to keep too much of your time, but what do you want to leave the viewers with as, you know, coming directly from you? You can plug whatever you want to plug, but what, you know, just motivation or positive thoughts or what have you, would you like to share with the viewers right now?
Well, you know, this is a really great show to have right now. And not that it just fell in your lap, but I mean, you created it right now during a time where a lot of people are going to have to pivot more than they thought they ever would in life. So all plugs aside, it really is a time, if you have not taken time to figure out, you know, what's most important to you, this would probably be the best time to do it. You know, as we've seen over the last few months, literally months, because it's been a while now, Freedoms can be taken very quickly. Health is not something that is taken for granted, no matter what age you are. And you have very little control over what happens to your life and somebody else's when it comes to things like a virus or a disease or things like that. You can take precautions, but at the end of the day, you have to really listen to what's going on. So in that frame of mind, just in life, there are things that people say, oh, I'm going to take care of this at this later time. I'm going to tell this person I love them. I'm going to chase this dream. I'm going to start this job. I'm going to write this blog. I'm going to send that letter. All of these things that you really have no control over what's going to happen tomorrow. So if you don't know what's most important to you right now, you should probably go ahead and work that out. And one of our biggest commodities is us, our time, our energy. So you need to make sure that you're in a space where you can kind of enjoy that you are showing appreciation for that to, whatever you believe, and that you are taking time to take care of yourself. Self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And so taking that time, not just on Sundays, but, maybe 15 minutes every day to read, meditate, sleep a little bit extra, talk to yourself, write up words of affirmations, things like that. That's what I would just encourage everybody to do, because this is the time to do it. If never before, this is time to recognize what's most important and to take care of yourself and those who you love.
Wow, that is awesome. I love it. It gave me goosey.
Oh, wait. Hey, look. And buy the book.
Exactly. I was just about to say, because by the time this is airing, I know we're recording this,
Right.
it's pre-stages, but at the time this airs, people can go and get that book. And I'm telling y'all, let me look right at my camera here. Go get that book. If you have not had the privilege of seeing La perform, checking out her poems, her first book, you are doing yourself a disservice. So please go check out the book. And I'll make sure to have the link there so you can click right on it. However, the easiest way for you to get it, because it will be definitely worth it.
I love you. Thank you so much. The site is lalovely.com, and Lita will have all the details for you.
Yes. Well, thank you, La, for taking a few minutes out to chat with me. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. Just keep being the bright, shining star that you are. And thank you for joining today's conversation.
You're the best. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching another episode of Pivotal Moments with Liletta. I'm sure you enjoyed today's episode. Be sure to check out next time for another amazing episode of Pivotal Moments with Liletta.